What it do, YouTube slash Patreon slash BitChute. Today's video, I want to chime in with a quick video. And in today's video, I want to open up emotionally, Now, I'm not doing this for sympathy. I'm not doing this to be cool. I'm not doing this for fun. This is for anybody who comes across this channel that is new to this channel. This is anybody that come across me, even in real life. You see what I mean? You want to know more about me. Like, it's hard to talk about this type of stuff because this is not stuff that everybody can relate to. And just because you can't relate to it doesn't mean you can't try to. You see what I mean? So I just wanted to let you know that I'm coming from a very humble place. You see what I'm saying? I'm not being arrogant. I'm not being cocky. I'm not being funny. You see what I mean? I just want to state that. So I want it to be known that growing up in Chicago is the murder capital of America. And, I seen a lot of people die. I seen a lot of people cry. I overcame a lot of obstacles at a young age. I've been struggling my whole life. I come from impoverished area. If you don't know what poverty is, it's poverty-stricken, barely any money, barely any food, you know, things of that nature. So when I was young, probably about age of like 2 through 6 or some shit like that. So basically, my biological father, he wasn't in my life, right? I grew up in a single parent home, and that messed me up mentally, and then also my mom, my mom, she started dating this guy or whatever, and this guy was weird or whatever. So like around like the age of 2 to like the age of 6, he used to like torture me and shit. Like, he used to lock me in a closet, and he used to lock me in this dog's cage. And I remember this one time, like at this little barbecue or this little party or whatever, and it was this pit bull that was in a cage, and this dog was like in a cage in a bathroom or whatever. So they stopped the whole party, and he grabbed me by my shirt, and he pulled me into the bathroom, and he opened up the dog's cage with the dog in there. And what he did was he put me in there with the dog, and he kept telling the dog to attack me, like to just rip me to shreds or whatever. And the dog didn't attack me. The dog didn't attack me, you know what I mean? And that shit just kind of fucked me up, just the fact that, somebody would do that. And at one point, it went from that to I would wake up in the morning, I'm a child, and he would tell me to pee in a cup, and he would drink it. I know that sounds sick, I know that sounds fucked up, but this is the shit I've been through. He would pee in a cup and he would drink it. And I guess it's like some type of satanic ritual. I'm not a Satanist, by the way, but it's like some type of satanic ritual where they like drink the energy of a child to kind of like get some type of life force. I know it sounds fucking crazy. And so basically I was getting bullied at home, and when I would go to school, I was getting bullied at school because I grew up in poverty. So I didn't have the fancy clothes, I didn't have the fancy cars, people driving at 16 and all that shit. I didn't have money to buy lunch, shit like that. So I go to school, people would laugh at my shoes, people would laugh at my clothes, like, oh, you ugly, you bummy, you retarded, you stupid. And that shit fuck with my mind. You see what I'm saying? Like, I would get bullied at home, then I would go to school and I would get bullied. And it just came to a point in time where the pain just fucked up my self-esteem, and it fucked up, and it gave me insecurities. You see what I'm saying? Like, just every day out of everybody, they would pick me to pick on. Oh, you ugly, you retarded, you bummy, haha, that's why you struggling. Just different shit like that. And that shit fucked with my mind. And it came to a point where I just felt like I was invisible. Like, it just felt like I was invisible. And that's why I kind of have that mind state today. I know that sounds like crazy, like, oh, whatever happened in your childhood, that's your childhood, let it go. No, it's not that easy. See, like, I suffer from PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress disorder. It's basically like growing up in Chicago, it's an actual war zone. that's what people don't get. Like the whole city not fucked up, but certain parts that I grew up in and certain parts that's close in that area, it's a war zone. You know, just black people killing black people, which is completely fucked up. Like killing people in general is fucked up, but just the black on black crime and shit that goes on is completely fucked up. And I would have to always, you know, like look over my shoulder. That's why if you see me doing this or doing that, it's because it's like a PTSD thing. I would always have to look over my shoulder. I would have to always make sure that ain't nobody finna run up on me and try to rob me or kill me just for the fun of it, because Chicago is a city of hate. It's a beautiful place, but it got a lot of people in there that had so much at one point in time. They lost everything. Now they rather just kill somebody than to see somebody succeed. So I come from that type of background. And as I was growing up, you know, living with my mom, you know, still going through poverty and stuff like that. So I was going to high school. I graduated high school May 22nd, 2013, you know, and out of all those obstacles I was going through at home, at school, you know, I still overcame that shit and I still was able to graduate. And then, like, so just kind of like just skipping around, because like after I graduated in 2013, I didn't really do much. You see what I'm saying? I really didn't do much after that. I was just, you know, I kind of fell into like get into the wrong crowd, hang around the wrong people. I started smoking weed. You know what I'm saying? I started hanging around, you know, gangs and shit like that, you know, just as a way to feel like love or support, because I wasn't getting that shit from home. You know what I'm saying? I used to get laughed at by females, played, you know, played as in like they play you like a goofy. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like they pretend they like you, and then in front of everybody they embarrass you. Like, so shit like that. That shit was fucking up my head. So I had went to college for like a semester or two, you know, and I had performed this speech in the speech class, and I had kind of stuttered some words. Not that I got the speech impediment, but I just kind of stuttered some words because I was nervous, and the whole class started laughing at me and shit. So that shit fucked me up, and I just dropped out after that. Dropped out of college and shit, you know, like, I know that sounds crazy and shit. So I was just, you know, just trying to figure out what the fuck I was gonna do. And then 2015, I started recording music as a way to express myself, as a way to escape the pain and shit that I was going through on an everyday basis. And, you know, I started getting good at it, I started getting better with it. But, you know, I started my YouTube channel in 2014, shit like that. And, you know, the people that was my so-called friends at that time, they were just talking shit about it. Ain't nobody gonna watch you on YouTube. Ain't nobody gonna watch your videos. Like, my mom boyfriend and shit, like, I used to have my videos, like, you know those rotating fans? I used to cut out a piece of cardboard and put it on top of the rotating fan so I could prop my phone up so I could record my videos. I remember he used to come in the room and be like, my mom boyfriend used to come in the room and be like, ain't nobody gonna watch this shit. You retarded. Nobody wanna listen to the shit you gotta say. And I said, fuck that piece of shit. I'm gonna keep on doing these videos, because I know if I'm going through this type of shit, my experience and my testimony of me overcoming this type of shit can help somebody else, because I know if I'm going through it, somebody else is going through it. That's what I was thinking. So like I said, 2015 I started doing music and shit. And, you know, at first I wasn't really into, like, don't get me wrong, I was into rap, but I wasn't into rapping. You know, like rapping songs, like singing and rapping is two different things. I wasn't really into that shit like that. So then once I started getting better at it, the dudes that was hanging around me, so-called friends, that's why I say so-called friends, because I've been snaked out a lot of times, you know, backstab, or what they call backdoor. Motherfuckers go behind your back, try to take what you got. You know, hate nigga shit. You know, pussy shit. You know how that shit go. Well, if you don't, what do you do? But anyway, I started getting good at it. They start hating. I could see it all in their face. Then it got to a point where my YouTube channel started growing. It started growing more and more. It started growing more and more. My Instagram started growing more and more, and I started to, you know, become like a YouTube sensation or YouTube famous. And I'm talking. I don't do prank videos and no shit like that. Like, I'm a different category. I do music. I do conspiracy videos, you know, Illuminati, shit like that. I talk about spirituality, you know, religion, just different shit. Like, I'm just well-rounded. I talk about all this different shit. And, you know, in Chicago, it's a place when you walk past somebody, you only give them eye contact for like 2 or 3 seconds, then you look away. Because if you start looking at somebody for too long or staring at somebody for too long, like, what the fuck you looking at? Like, what's the issue? You see what I'm saying? And that kind of rubbed off on me. And when, if somebody look at me, like, they might not even be looking at me wrong, or they might not be looking at me weird, but in my mind, I would think they're looking at me wrong. I think they're looking at me weird because it's a PTSD, it's post-traumatic stress disorder, or I might be paranoid. Oh shit, like, oh, am I in trouble? Did I do something wrong? I say that because the shit that I've been through, like I said, growing up, I used to get locked in a dog's cage. You know what I'm saying? Locked in a closet, like just all type of fucked up shit, and just laughed at, just humiliated, and that shit fucked me up mentally, and I still was overcoming that type of stuff. And while I was overcoming it, I never seen a therapist or nothing like that, because my mom used to say stuff like, oh yeah, boys ain't supposed to smile, you supposed to always look mad, you supposed to do this, you supposed to do that, blah blah blah, like you supposed to not express your emotions, you supposed to keep them bottled in. That's what my mom would tell me, shit like that. And at one point in time I thought that shit was true, but clearly when you go into the real world, that's not true. And I guess I just became a little bit socially awkward, you know what I'm saying, just from being bullied at school and being bullied at home. And then so like 2017, my sister was dating this guy or whatever, and he kind of knew my mom and knew her boyfriend, knew the shit they was into. So he told me, like, your mom and her boyfriend, they are cousins, they are related. And I'm like, what? That shit fucked me up. So basically, like, I was dealing with that piece of shit. Like, that piece of shit was torturing me and bullying me for a long time in different ways. I was dealing with him like 15 years or some shit like that. And at all that time, I found out that was my mother's cousin. That's fucked up. Like, my mom and my dad are not related at all, but I have a brother and a sister, and their mom and their dad is related. Just fucked up shit, and that shit fucked me up. So once I found that shit out, that's when the problems started really kicking in. And arguments, even more attacks. He would walk past my door and punch on the door, say fuck you pussy, I hate you, just different shit like that. And I never really did that. I used to always just kind of like just let them bully me and shit, like, you know what I'm saying. And then one day I said I ain't having that shit no more. So he said something to me, and I said, what you want to do then? I'm tired of you, bitch. You see what I'm saying? I'm like, what the fuck you want to do? So I had grabbed a knife and shit, and I charged at him with it. And then I tried to attack him and shit. Ended up knocking the knife out of my hand. So he went to go get his gun, loaded it up with bullets and shit, and he pointed at my forehead, like, with the gun and shit. He was like, I'll kill you right now. I said, send me to hell then, bitch. You see what I'm saying? Obviously he ain't do it or whatever. But so then my godmom picked me up, and she was like, where do you want to go? I said, fuck it, take me to the homeless shelter. I'd rather be homeless than live in this type of environment. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather go to the army than live in this type of environment. She was like, I'm not gonna let you be homeless, and I'm not gonna let you go to the military because you are angry now, but you won't always be like that. You see what I mean? She was like, you won't always feel like that, and I don't want you to make a mistake that you're gonna regret, stuff like that, like blah blah blah, stuff like that. So she ended up taking me to my grandma's house. Me and my grandma really didn't get along. My grandma, that's my biological dad's mother. Like I said, my dad wasn't in my life, but like 2016, I reached out to him, and this is the end of 2016 when all this was happening. Like I said it was 2007. I said it was 2017, but it was like December-ish 2016, and then January, February, like 2017, while I was at my grandmother's house. I was still in Chicago, so I was applying to go to Job Corps. Job Corps is like this labor force program. It's like a vocational or a trade school where you go there, they give you accommodation, you live on the center, you get 3 meals a day, but you taking a trade and you working. You see what I'm saying? So it's like you going to school and you working at the same time and shit like that. So I had got certified in medical office support. I got financial literacy, computer studies, a chainsaw Sawyer. I know how to work a chainsaw. Different shit like CPR. Got my CPR certification. I lost that motherfucker somewhere though, unfortunately, but I was definitely certified for CPR and just different shit like that. So while I was in the process of doing that, my grandma would just say, oh, you need to hurry up and get out, I'm ready to have my house to myself, blah blah blah, just evil bitch shit, just evil shit. I know that shit sound fucked up, but you want to know the truth, I'm gonna give you the truth. Can you handle it? It's evil shit. And I'm like, fuck this shit. So I end up going to Gary, Indiana, That's where Michael Jackson is from. That's where the Jackson 5 is from. I went to Gary, Indiana, lived with my dad for 2 months, and I reached out to him. Because like I said, he wasn't in my life. I reached out to him, and we started talking. I was telling him the shit that I was going through. He was telling me the shit that he'd been through. So basically, we came to a conclusion that my mother and his mother, which is my grandmother, they've been trying to keep me and him apart. So we wouldn't connect the dots on what's really been going on. You see what I mean? So while I was in Gary, Indiana, I was going back and forth to the Job Corps office, and I was doing the paperwork because, you know, at first when I was at my grandma's house in Chicago, I was just doing it online and shit like that. But then I had to go to Gary, Indiana, so I could fill out the actual paperwork. There was a whole bunch of like meetings and a whole bunch of like orientations and shit to get in this, because, you know, it's a government labor force program and shit. So I had to go through all that shit. And then while going through all that, one day, me and my dad had gotten into this argument over a movie and shit. So basically, it's this movie called For the Love of Money with Charlie Sheen and Chris Tucker. It's an old movie, came out in the 90s or some shit like that. And it was this one part of the movie where Charlie Sheen, you know, his dad, his actual dad, Mark Sheen, he in the movie and shit, they was like running from the police or some shit like that. Like they was running from the police, Charlie Sheen and Chris Tucker. So they went to go meet Charlie Sheen's dad, and he had gifted them with like a $100,000 Rolex. And I was thinking to myself, I was thinking out loud, I'm like, if they running from the police, why the fuck don't he just give them money instead of giving them a $100,000 watch? I was like, I'll just pawn that motherfucker in because I need the money instead of needing the watch. Then my dad was like, that's why you don't got shit now, because you don't appreciate nothing. I'm like, that's why you don't got shit now, bitch, because you don't appreciate shit. So he started talking shit. He got mad. Then he pulled out a gun, and he pointed it to my chest. He said, I'll kill you right now. I said, send me to hell then, bitch. He didn't do it. So I ended up leaving, ended up going back to Chicago, even though I didn't really want to. See what I'm saying? So I ended up going back to my grandmother's house. And I was there from like April 2017 to June 5th, 2017. So I had went to Cleveland, Ohio, home of the Cavaliers. I had went there June 5th, 2017 on a Greyhound bus. You know, like you should know what the Greyhound bus is. It's a pretty popular company. And I was on there from Chicago to Ohio. It was a 10-hour bus ride. No food, no water, no money. And I was just on the bus. Then my phone battery died because I had my charger and stuff, but I was too shy or too timid to actually ask the person, like, hey, can I please use the charger and shit? Like, I don't know. I guess I would just, I don't know, like, just PTSD thing. I know, like, that's not an excuse. I'm just saying, like, so you could kind of understand me better. So my phone ended up dying and shit. So I was in Cleveland, downtown Cleveland, lost. And like I said, I'm a spiritual person. I believe in spirituality and shit. So what happened was the number 13, like I said, that's a powerful number. That number is the universal language. You see what I'm saying? It's the universal language of the universe. The number 13. Everywhere you go, you're going to see the number 13 in some way, either in number form or even in words. It's deep. I'm not going to get into all that. Some people call it gematria. Some people call it, number codings and all that other shit. But it's pretty much like that. So basically, I was getting signs from the universe, and I knew I was being guided by the universe. So I had found this bus ticket on the ground and shit. Went to the bus stop. Fortunately, it worked. The bus driver was like, fuck that shit. You can just get on. So anyway, I'm lost. I don't know where I'm going. I had like a card, an emergency contact card to call Job Corps for them to pick me up, but I couldn't call them. So tell me where I write this random dude got on the bus. Where I was in the bus, it's probably like 11 p.m. at night in a whole different state I've never been to. And it's June 5th, 2017. And this dude, he get on the bus. He had the number 13 on his baseball cap, on his hat. And I'm like, damn, this must be an angel that sent, or when I mean angel, I mean a spiritual force, a spiritual energy, a higher power energy that embodied the human vessel to come send me a message. That's what I mean by angels. So the guy, I was like, can I use your phone, please? I need to call this number. So I called the number. told them like I'm lost, and they was like, just stop at the bus station. We gonna have somebody come pick you up. So by the time they came through, it was about like 1:30 a.m. So I didn't get to Job Corps till like 1:30 a.m. and shit. So I went to Job Corps. I was there from June 5th to about February 13th. And then after I graduated from there and completed the program, so basically even then, right, with this situation in Job Corps and shit, like, I'm not trying to make this video too long, but I want y'all to know this too. So there's one situation and shit in Job Corps where this dude set me up. He set me and some other dudes up where he was pretending like he wanted to spend the night at this guy's house, but really he was trying to steal his Xbox and shit. And, you know, I told him I don't want to be a part of that. You know, I'm going to AmeriCorps. AmeriCorps is another government work program where you do like environmental stewardship, energy conservation, you know, disaster relief. We work next to FEMA, basically, but I'm going to get into that. So anyway, when I was in Job Corps and shit, like a week or 2 weeks before I was going to graduate, this dude was a hating-ass demon, a snake-ass nigga. You know, excuse the French. Excuse, you know what I'm saying? Excuse the language. But that's a saying, by the way. That's an American saying that we use. Excuse my French. So just to let you know. But anyway, so the dude was trying to steal this guy's Xbox and shit. And I'm like, I don't want no part of that shit. I'm like, I got shit going on in my life. I'm not trying to be a part of that. So dude like, oh, you scary, you a bitch, you a pussy, blah, blah, blah. So I grabbed my bags and I started walking out the place or whatever. So then, you know, the cops end up just riding down that street and they seen us. But I was already walking away from them. You know what I'm saying? I was at the bus stop. I was walking away from them because I didn't want to be around them. But, you know, in America, it's a thing called guilty by association. If you just even in the vicinity around some people, whether you know them or not, you're guilty by association. You see what I mean? So we all end up getting arrested and shit. And we had to spend like the weekend in jail or whatever. And me, I was just so paranoid and so like just scared. Like I'm just being 100% honest with you because I'm like, damn, I'm finna lose my whole future. I'm finna graduate in a week and this shit happens. So I'm just in the cell, you know, praying and shit, just, you know, confessing all, you know, all my sins and all that type of shit. You know how it is, like at the last minute, you know, you want to do that shit. Like, I'm not being funny, I'm just keeping it real. So then, you know, I still had to go to court, like, cause I was going to AmeriCorps. I was supposed to graduate. Well, I did graduate Job Corps January 19th, 2017. But I was completing the program of Job Corps and leaving to AmeriCorps, which was in Iowa, February 13th, 2018. So I had like a week before the graduation and shit. I had to keep going back to court so many times, and you know, the center director, he said if your court case continues past February 13th, you won't be able to go to AmeriCorps and your whole future gonna be canceled. So my last court visit, the judge, he was like, you never been in trouble before, your record clean. He said, we can expunge this off your record. He said, all I want you to do is pay a $300 fine. And I showed him my my certifications, and I showed him, you know, my certificates and the shit that I was doing in Job Corps. Let him know that I wasn't just out here causing trouble. I was just got caught up with the wrong crowd, you know, wrong place, wrong time. And when he seen that, he was like, all I want you to do is pay a $300 fine. You don't have to do no more jail time, and I'm gonna let you go. And when you complete the program of Job Corps, you get completion money. Like, you're supposed to get like $500 and shit. But like, okay, so if you like, you get $500 for completing the program. But if you came to Job Corps and you didn't have a high school diploma, then they would give you $1,000. But I had my high school diploma, so I only got $500. But you know, the government take tax, so that was really $300. So the only $300 I had, I used that to pay that fine and shit like that, to get rid of that shit, you know, to pay that off. And after all that, I overcame that, and I ended up graduating. I ended up going to AmeriCorps, and when I was in AmeriCorps, like I said, it's a program where we do environmental stewardship, energy conservation, disaster relief, and some other things I can't really remember, but we worked next to FEMA Corps. Oh yeah, we did logistics and logging and, you know, shit like that, like reception work and shit like that. So So in AmeriCorps, it was a 10-month program, but I ended up doing 7 months because it was just like the stuff that was just going on with me mentally. It was a lot of stress that was going on mentally and shit. And it's just like yeah. So I was going through all that shit, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna just resign, and I'm just gonna follow my dreams. And everybody was like, what the fuck are you talking about? They was like, you tweaking, like you really paranoid and you going through this shit. But a couple days before I decided to resign, I was outside. This was in Michigan. I'm like just kind of skipping around. It's a long story. But I was in Allegan, Michigan, very historical town. And you know, I was smoking a joint and shit like that, and I wasn't tweaking. I made sure, like, you know, I pinched myself and shit like that. And I never seen a shooting star until that day. So I'm looking up in the clouds and shit, and I see a whole bunch of stars because we in the middle of nowhere in a farm town. So you know, when you're in a farm town and shit, there's no chemtrails, there's no clouds, so you can see the stars and shit like that, right? So I look up in the sky, I see a shooting star for the first time. I shit you not, I swear to God on everything I love. I seen a shooting star, and I looked at the shooting star, and I started manifesting. Manifestations as in, I will accomplish this, I will do this, I will do that, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, I will go to Australia 13. I will go to Australia 13. I will go to Australia 13. I don't even know why, but Australia just popped in my mind. I'm like, I will go to Australia 13. I will go to Australia 13. And I was like, I will overcome these obstacles. I will overcome these obstacles. I will succeed. I was like, my YouTube channel will get 10,000 subscribers, because at that time I had like 6,000 subscribers. So I was just manifesting all type of shit. So then after that, I seen a purple portal. It opened up in the sky. It was like a square. And I said, I'm like, God, if you real, send me a sign. I said, God, if you're real, send me a sign. Portal opened up again. I say, oh shit, this shit is real. I'm like, do it again. Let me see another sign. Motherfucker opened up again. Purple portal. I cannot make this shit up. 2018. I swear to God. August 11, 2018. On everything I love. I seen a shooting star, and I seen a portal open up 3 times. And then 2 days later, something clicked in my brain. I was like, you know what? I'm going through a lot of mental stress and shit like that. So I'm just going to resign the program. People were looking at me like, you know, we got 3 months left, right? You completely tweaking. I was like, you know what? I just want to follow my dreams, do my music and shit, knowing, you know, I was homeless, didn't have anywhere to go and shit like that. So I ended up resigning. I went to New York to meet up with one of my subscribers from YouTube and shit. We shot some music videos. And I shot some music videos from him. We was editing them and shit like that. And I was going around New York, and it was just a beautiful time. Like, even though the circumstances, I just started to learn that no matter what you go through, you still should just be happy of the circumstances that you got. Like, even if you're going through the most shittiest shit, okay, yeah, you might be homeless, okay, you had a fucked up childhood, you did this, but I was still overcoming obstacles. I'm still breathing, I'm still alive. And once I went to New York, my eyes opened to more shit. Like, okay, I just quit my fucking job and all this shit, and I was doing all this, like, just on some tweaking shit. But I knew in my soul, like, I need to follow my dreams. So I was in New York shooting music videos and shit. So then after that, I end up catching the Greyhound back to Chicago. And when I went to Chicago, you know, I was homeless and shit. And I was begging, and like I said, fuck that pride shit. I'm not gonna, like, I'm gonna keep it real, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna keep it real with myself. I'm gonna keep it real with you if you can handle it. Because everybody say they want truth, but they can't handle the truth. That's why it's that saying, you can't handle the truth, because everybody can't. But I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. You know what I'm saying? Don't judge me for keeping it 100 with you. You should judge me for lying to you. Feel me? But I was homeless in Chicago, and I was begging my subscribers, you know, money to scrape up so I can get me a motel room in the hotel room. And it was just like, I'm like, damn, like, you know. And I kept seeing these angel numbers, like 333, 444, 555, 777, 888. And what I do is, when I see them, I would go on Google and I'll type in 888 angel number meaning, and I would read it, and I'll see if it resonated with what the shit I was going through at that time. And it did. And that shit was blowing my mind. And I remember this one time, I had scraped up some money to get a motel room, and I had got the number 10. And I typed in my phone, I said angel number 10, and it was like something like you're about to have a big changes in your life, big blessings, and different shit like that. And you about to have big changes, big life changing things going on in your life. And I'm like, okay. So I walked in the room, in the motel room and shit like that. And this movie was already playing called Notorious B.I.G. The famous rapper from New York, Biggie. He got shot and killed at the age of 25. He got the, Biggie. Biggie and Tupac. So it was a movie about Biggie called Notorious B.I.G. And it was already playing. And it was at the part where he had just got out of jail. He was homeless. He just had a daughter. And he wanted to pursue his dream with music and shit. And everybody, talking down on him, you can't do it. And it was only a few people that believed in him. And he was rapping and shit. He made it happen. I swear to God, right? So the next night, I scrape up $60 again to get that motel room. They gave me the same number, 10 again. I swear on everything I love. I walked back in that room. That movie was playing from the same part as the first time. He just got out of jail, homeless, and he was rapping. A lot of people was laughing at him, and only a few people believed in him. And they gave him that opportunity and that chance, and he made it happen. And I took that as a sign from the universe. So, about a couple months ago past the shit, just, still struggling, trying to figure things out. And, I end up meeting this girl, and she ended up, flying to Chicago to meet me and shit like that, We had a good time, it was fun and shit like that. And then, she wanted me to come back to Australia with her and shit. So I was like, okay, cool, because, I don't have nothing here, anyway. My family fucked up, separated, family on drugs, they doing all type of, just all type of crazy shit. I'm like, there's nothing here for me, no friends, everybody done turned fake or snake, on some hating shit. So I said, okay, cool, I might as well come to Australia. So I came to Australia, I was dating this girl. And, we was dating for like, a year and a half. Everything was going good, but, it was drugs involved, just she had got out of a bad relationship. I was going through some fucked up shit, so it wasn't like the right place at the right time. So things didn't work out. See what I mean? Things didn't work out. But basically, I went through all that shit to get to this point that I'm at now. And now that I'm at this point, I'm still figuring out what I'm gonna do. You see what I'm saying? Like I said, I ain't perfect. I ain't saying that, oh, I'm the best or no shit like that. Like, I'm still trying to figure things out, but that's my story. That's what I had to go through to get to this point. Sorry this video was so long, but I felt like I had to actually really explain this shit. And like I said, I'm not coming from a cocky point of view. I'm coming from a real genuine place. You know what I'm saying? This ain't for sympathy. This ain't for no fucking cool point to get crocodile tears. This is, I want you to really know who I am and what I've been through. I'm a survivor, an overcomer. Not nobody that's gonna just cry and be happy and deal the cards I was dealt. Fuck that. You know what I'm saying? I'm a pioneer. You feel me? Like, I don't give a fuck with nobody. So I'm an overcomer, a survivor. And there's other people out there that been through pain. Not exactly like me. It's some people that went through worse. I ain't saying I got the best story or the best testimony. This is just my story for me. But if I could overcome this shit, so can you.